Okay, let's just give some time for the others to log in. I think there are others that are trying to connect. All right, you are welcome. Please, if you can hear me, just type yes in the chat box. Please, if you can hear me, just type yes in the chat box. Let me just know you can hear me. Hmm. All right. Good evening, good evening. Or is it good morning wherever you are? I think we just need to start up. we need to start up now. We're trying to wait for one or two other persons to join the call. Please let me know you can hear me clearly. If you can hear me, just type yes in the chat box, please. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go. We can just start off. You are welcome, every one of us. You are super, super, super welcome. Okay, all right. We don't have all the day. It's just going to be a brief meeting, and I strongly want us to kind of keep to time. But let me be sure. If you can hear me, can you just okay, Mr. God, Mr. God's will say yes. Okay, Mr. Balami said yes. All right. I'm glad you can hear. And been trying to wait, but I don't think we can. We have all day. Maybe those people that when they come later, we're going to just put the stream there. We're going to put the stream in the maybe in the group chats. Some people are sending me message that they can't log in. I don't know why. I don't know why they can't log in. But let's just okay. So once again, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. It's a wonderful time to be alive, and it's a time when everybody is trying to look at what to do. Oh, the economy is this, the economy is that, and most persons are trying to see what to do to improve their finances. Now, for those of you, maybe this is your very first time, uh, it's this Region Cooperative where we teach how to make money, multiply money, and also manage money. You know, the aspect a lot of people think about the managing of, about making money and multiplying money, but only very few pay attention to how to manage their money. So, this presentation today is going to be helping us, especially as corporators. Now, if you are watching for the first time or you've been a member, the Read Vision Cooperative is an online cooperative where people of like minds come together, put up resources to help one another. And it's been a long time program. We've been on this since I think we started about 2020 during the time of the COVID. And ever since, we've been increasing and expanding our horizons. We've been increasing our services and looking forward to a great future for the cooperative. Now, let's go straight to what we have today. Because what we have today, it's something that if you knew this before now, maybe, probably, there's a probability that maybe you will have more cash to yourself than you have now. You know, there are some of the things that when I looked at it, you know, upon study and things, I began to look at it that maybe if I had paid more attention to this aspect, maybe financially, maybe this what would have happened. And you know, it's there's one good thing is this: there's no time that is too late to start. There's no time that is too late to start. The only thing is for you to make up your mind that yes, I want to change my finances. I want my financial structure, my financial plan, my financial activities to change. And once you make up your mind on that, it will be to achieve that goal. So I will just go straight. Like I said, I don't want to take so much time on the session. Let's just cut the chase immediately. All right. I hope you can see my screen. I hope you can see my screen. I believe you can see my screen right now. All right. So, all right. So, what are the 7 habits that make one poor? 7 habits. You know what? At times when we talk about being poor, it's kind of relative also. Like we always define poor, the acronym for poor, we say passing over opportunities repeatedly. POOR, passing over opportunities repeatedly. But then let's look at this. Financially, when a man is not having liquidity, when you are not having enough liquidity to meet your daily needs, you are not having enough liquidity. When I say liquidity, you don't have enough cash to meet your daily needs. You can say, oh, that person is poor, that person is not having money, or something like that. So, what are the things, what are the habits that you and I have inculcated that will make you to be financially down? I'm going to take you through this, and I want you to please pay great attention. What we need to know about money. Now, the first thing you need to know about money is you have to understand that for anybody to be financially empowered, the person must have what you call a good cash flow. Now, for some persons, their cash flow can be high, some persons, their cash flow can be low. In any economy, cash flow is king. In every and any economy, cash flow is king. Now, when you don't have cash flow, you have cash flow. When you say cash flow, you are talking of inflow and outflow of money from your account or from your hands. Now, for many of us, you will see, if you are to go and do an analysis, how much has passed through your hands in the last couple of weeks, in the last couple of months, in the last couple of years. You want to wonder that how and what happened to all these monies that was with me. Now, if you look at it, your cash flow can be little, can be small, or large, depending on your activity. Now, for some of us, we just have only one means of which cash flows into our account, while some other persons have several means. Now, some people have several means, and when you combine all their several means, they are not even up to the one stream of a particular individual. Now, are we going to say that particular individual, because he has only one stream of income and is high, do we say, okay, is doing far better than those people? No, you might be wrong, because one, there's a risk in having one stream of income. There's a great risk in having one stream of income. The Almighty God Himself, when He was creating, from the story, the Bible story, we learned that He created a garden called the Garden of Eden. And when He created the garden, He had about 4 rivers that were supplying water into that garden. Now, if 4 rivers were supplying, I sometimes think and I say, we have river, Villa, river. I think of it that why is it that God did not just make only one river to flow into that garden? I would have thought that, is it not the Almighty God? He can make the river so big. The river can be so big that that river can feed the whole garden. But I tell you, indeed, those rivers were big, but He had to make it 4. Invariably, what He's saying is this: you need to have minimum of 4 streams of income. Sometimes we tell people have 7 streams of income, but the ideal thing Minimum. You can't sit, or if you talk of a chair is how many legs? Four legs. If you see a chair that is having three legs, oh, maybe that chair is bad, or by design is one thing or the other. Mostly, when you see a chair having four legs, you want to sit down on it because you are sure it's good for your weight. So develop streams of income that can carry your weight, that carry your expenses. And I tell you, in this generation and this era in which we are, it is good to do that, and it is even much easier to do today. Now, the other thing, we still come back to cash flow. The other thing that you need to know about money is what? Investment. Investment. Now, the only thing that makes people rich is not saving money, investing. Now, people will now say, but in the cooperative, we encourage people to save money. Now, what you are encouraged to do is to save money so that you have enough money to put into one or two investments, as the case may be. And when you save maybe in the cooperative, just for instance, you'll be able to access more money that can help you in investing. Now, when you invest money, that means your money is working for you. When you invest, it's one thing to make money. It's another thing that for you to make your money to work for you. Now, the third thing that is important in this place is protection. How do you protect the fund? These are some of the. How do you protect the fund? How do you protect the egg, the hen that lays the golden egg? These are some of the things that you need to know about money. Cash flow. What do I need to do to increase my cash flow? Two, what are the things that I can do to multiply my money? Then number three, what do I do to protect my money? Remember, like we said, in the cooperative, we teach how to make money, uh, how to make money, how to multiply money, and how to manage money. That is how to grow a cash flow, how to go into investment, and how to protect your income. All right. So the first thing that you have to understand about cash for recording cash flow, we need to do the percentage distribution of expenses first. When you talk about cash flow, a lot of us don't have that. You think that you need a kind of master's degree, you need to have studied finance for you to be able to manage your cash flow, but that is not true. For everyone, there are three F's. There are three basic F's when it comes to the monies that come into hands. Now, the first one is what we call the fundamentals. The fundamentals are the things that you must spend money on, the things that they are compulsory for you, that you need to spend money on. Now, gentlemen, you need to have a clear understanding of what are the fundamentals in your life. Now, we talk about your rent, the place you live. You need money. If you are still living in a rented apartment, you need money to pay whether every month or every year, depending on where you live. It's a fundamental. Now, children's education is a fundamental. Oh, groceries, eating at home is a fundamental. How do you go back to your office? You go to the office, and it's a fundamental. So we have different fundamentals that you need to work on. Now, maybe in some trainings, I'll be showing you, I have a cash flow sheet which you can look at, and we've already prepared it because we know it's not everybody that has this financial knowledge capable of preparing a spreadsheet. It's a kind of spreadsheet that we have already designed that you can plug in and then put in informations that you can use to monitor this. Ladies and gentlemen, you've often heard that he who fails to plan has planned to fail. So if you don't know, when I hear people, a lot of us say something, some say it jokingly, some say it, out of concern. They say your take home is not taking you home. You hear people will say, I just collect money. I don't even know where the money went. I don't even know what happened to the money. No, that is not a too good, responsible word to say, that you don't know where your money went. How can you not know? How can you not know? That means you are not protecting your money. You are not protecting your money. You must be able to give account. If your income is 200,000 in a month, you must be able to give account. Oh, so amount went to this. This one went to this. And one of the ways I want to encourage you, if you want to do that, is don't spend cash. Don't spend cash. Now, simply this way, when money comes into your hand, into your account, most of the time, maybe because someone pays you, you do this thing, you do business. When somebody wants to give you cash, just tell them, please, can you transfer it to my account? Now, when they transfer money into your account, make sure that you don't spend any money without passing it through the account. Okay, you want to go to the market, you need 5,000 naira. You put a narration in your stuff, 5,000 naira for market expenses. You want to pay the plumber, you put it 2,000 naira for plumber. You want to do this. Everything, try as much as possible. Make all your expenses go through your bank account. Now, it makes it easier for you to account for. Now, when most of your expense goes through this, see, it's when you are not ready to do something. That's when you begin to look for excuse. It's not possible. What if I want to buy pepper? What if I want to buy all those flimsy excuses? You can always get around them. Now, once you get this, you can always do what you call the printout of your statement of account in a month. The printout from the point that money entered into your account to the end of the month, depending on what your own end of month is, you can now look at and say, okay, this 200,000 entered as a credit. What and what went out as a debit? Now, I'm going to be classifying it into fundamentals, into fund, and into future. Now, when I've explained what fundamentals are, the other thing that you need to know that many of us don't know is 30% of your income should go for fund. When you say fund, you are talking about those things that they are not really necessary. They are essentials, but they are not necessary. They are important, but they are not necessary. Oh, I need to pay for DSTV. Maybe I need to pay for premium DSTV. Do you need it? If you don't pay for the premium, is it going to hurt you? Is it going to change anything? If it is not, well, that is fun. Oh, I have to take the children out for vacation and things. Now, question: if we don't go out to eat out as a family, is it going to hurt us? If the answer is no, what will it do? Oh, it just the bonding and everything. But is it good to launch out with the family? Yes, it's good. But is it compulsory? It's not compulsory. So once you are able to identify those things, those are the things we call the fun part of your income. The fun part are those things that it's just as I explained, you can necessarily do without. Coming from the office, you bought gala, you bought this. If you don't do it, it's okay. So those are the fun part. Now, the other part, which is most important, is the future. The future. A lot of this is where many of us are failing. And I want to play with you. If you are listening to this presentation, I want you to have this in mind. The future of your finance is very key. The future of your financial life is very important. Why do I say so? The greatest gift that you have today is your ability to earn an income. Once that ability is taken away from any man, that man becomes a caricature of himself. So it is ideal that now that you have the capacity, now that you have the strength to earn an income, why don't you reserve for the future? Remember, the Almighty God even said it. He said, go to the ants, you sluggard, consider our ways and be wise. Who gathers our food? Summer. Now, your working time is your summertime. When you have strength to work, is your summertime. Are you spending all in your summer, or you are keeping some for the winter? You hear somebody say, oh, even what I'm earning is not enough. You want me, how do I now save? Let me tell you, that period becomes more tough for you if you don't prepare for it. They said, as you lay your bed, so you will lie on it. Money that you have not saved, will not save you. So that is one thing. This aspect is one aspect that a lot of us don't have an understanding of. And the faster, the earlier you begin to have an understanding of this part, the better for you. Now, the other thing that is important that many of us don't really know is this: paying yourself last. This is something that many of us do. We pay ourselves last. You see, you are good, you work, you go from morning till night, you are a very good, hardworking person. Why, if I ask you, why are you working? Oh, so that I can pay my bills. I've got bills to pay. This is what you hear people say: I've got bills to pay. You know, you are not talking like that about you've got yourself to pay. Is it not injustice for you to pay everybody? You will pay your organizer, you will pay your children's teacher, you will pay the landlord, you will pay every other person. The only person you don't pay is yourself. Let me give you a word. 10% of whatsoever you earn is yours to keep. I want you to write that down. 10% of whatsoever you earn is yours to keep. As a matter of fact, that is what you can use for your future income. So the moment an income comes to you, one of the first thing that you want to do is to take 10% of that income and put it away into a place where you cannot easily have access to it. And that's where the cooperative comes to play. That's where you get to understand it at the end. I'm going to be showing you. So pay yourself first by setting aside at least 10% of your income immediately upon receiving your paycheck. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of us will work for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. We don't have any money that we have set aside for this body that has done that work. For this body, I tell you, you are cheating yourself. So pay yourself first. Now, the second thing that you need to need to know is getting with debt. Many persons, we get so used to debt. You get so used to debt, everything you want to buy, you are buying on credit. Well, buying on credit is good, especially for those of us in the advanced country. It's good you use debit card and things like. Financially, it is good that you use debt. Do you understand? A lot of people that are rich, they use debt. Why? Because they use the services now and pay later. The thing is this: avoid using debt unless you can't afford to pay for the item outrightly in cash. The thing is this: the less in debt you are, the more at peace your mind will be. But some of us, when we take debt, it's okay to buy on credit and pay later. But how fast do you get off your debt? How early do you pay off your debt? That is something that is very crucial. So if you look at every successful man, most rich people, they are in debt. Do you understand? But don't get yourself into bad debt. Bad debt is the money that you can't pay. So if you know that you don't have a structure, please pay attention. I'm not saying getting into debt is bad. Debt is a good way to finance your investment, to finance your business, to finance activity. But the thing is this: when you begin to get comfortable with bad debt, what's bad debt? A bad debt is a debt that you don't even know, you don't have a plan, you are just hoping that you are going to be able to pay. And at the end, you can't pay that debt. It now becomes bad. Now somebody begins to push you around, somebody begins to toss you around, then that's very bad. So, ladies and gentlemen, before you go into debt, we have what we call debt financing. There are a lot of things that people use debt for. But before you go into that, I want you to look at, before I go into any debt, before I commit myself, how will I pay? How will I pay? That must be one principal thing that must be in. Once you cannot figure out how to pay, then don't go into it. All right. So that's something that makes people poor. Now, another thing is lack of knowledge about income and expenses. Just like I said earlier, when we were talking about the 50, 30, 20 fundamentals, fund, and future. That we call it the 50-30-20 rule. So one of the things that a lot of us don't understand is how understanding your financial starting point, which is very crucial for you. Now, let's look at this. You have the knowledge of all the income that comes to you in a single period. And do you have an understanding of how monies that come into your hand, where do they go to? This is linked with the first one that we said. You must be able to channel and say, okay, 20% of my income, I can make a track. I can track my expenses. Now, when you are tracking your expenses, ladies and gentlemen, just please take note. In the first this thing that I showed you, I said 50% should go to the fundamentals. When you put up and you're able to itemize, that's why I said use your bank, make sure most of your expenses are going via the bank so that you can, print it out and then bring it out one by one. 50% of your income goes into your fundamentals. If you check, and what is going to your fundamentals is 80% of your income. Ladies and gentlemen, you are living above your means. You are living above your means. Let me explain. Somebody is earning 100,000 naira. I'm just using like 100,000. And when you break down your expense, your rent, your children's school fees, because when you are doing this, you have to calculate everything on monthly basis. You don't pay your rent on monthly basis, do you? You pay your rent maybe annually. But you must be able to take that rent, that annual rent, divide it by 12 and know what is the cost in a month. Oh, your children's school fees, you don't pay it every day, you don't pay it every month, you pay it maybe per term. So in a year, how much do you pay totally for the children's school fees? Okay, maybe you pay 100,000, let's call it 100,000. Now, you must be able to take that 100,000 and divide it by 12 because you should understand that it's the work that you work 30 days in the 12 months of the year that makes up, that's where you can pull out that rent from. That's where you can pull out whatsoever. So you take that school fees, divide it by 12 so that you know the cost per month on school fees. How much do we spend in a month in the house? How much do we spend on travels? Now, when you take all this and you now get to that point where you calculate and say, oh, after checking the fundamentals, you are now seeing something that more than 80% of your income, more than 80% of your income is going into the fundamentals. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you straight, you are living above your means. So, and if you now check, and your what's it called? The fun aspect. For some of us, you might have to reduce the fun aspect to add up to the fundamentals. You understand? So when you close up the fun aspect, which is 30%, and you add it to the fundamental, which becomes now 80%, then you still have to make a review. What kind of house am I staying? Can my income sustain this living? So you should make a review. Very soon we'll be releasing a kind of sheet. Is a tracker that you can use to track your income and your expense for you to be able to make this good calculation. Then the other thing that you want to do, there's a lot of things. One of the things that make a lot of people lose out on their cash flow is expensive hobbies. What are those expensive hobbies that you have? Oh, me, I love to go club. I love to go clubbing. Okay, clubbing, I'm not saying it's wrong, but then what is your finance? How much of before you go spend this amount in the club, how much have you saved? How much do you have in your reserve account? So you should, I like to hang out with my friends, and when we hang out, we buy suya, we buy fish and things. It's good, but then vis-a-vis your income, you have to look at it. You have to cut down on expensive habits. Nobody needs to tell you. You have to look at it and say, what value is this particular habit adding to my life and contributing into my future? All right. So when you look at that, the next one, this is one important one that I want you to really, really pay attention to. No plan for emergency reserve funds. That this is okay, just a minute. Let me see. Am I sure the my screen is still being shared? Or just hold on. Let's be sure we are still sharing the screen. Okay. Okay. I think we're still on. Please, if you can see my screen, just tell me a yes, please. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So now we're talking about sorry, I think we've done these expensive habits. Now we're talking about uh your plan for emergency reserve fund, your ERF. Ladies and gentlemen, see, if there's nothing, if you're not going to take anything off this meeting, I want you, okay, I can see. Okay, you can see the screen. All right. Okay. If there's nothing you're going to take away from this meeting, please, I want you to take this up. Emergency reserve fund. Failing to plan for the future. When we talk about emergency reserve fund, do you know what it means? Your emergency reserve fund is 3 times your income each month must be reserved in a place where you are not having direct access to. Now, when you say emergency reserve fund, nobody prays for any emergency. Nobody prays that, oh, something will come and you can't handle. Ladies and gentlemen, but what we have found out is this: a lot of persons, after they leave their jobs or the source of income that they are having stopped, once that happens, you see quite a number. Okay, okay, they say the presentation is not showing. Mr. Yusuf, okay, sorry, please. Let me. I wonder why. Well, just give me some minute. Let me try to do that again. All right. Enter screen. Okay. Share. Okay. I think you should be able to see it now. You should be able to see it now. All right. Okay. All right. So when we talk about the emergency reserve fund, you see quite a number of us or people, when they leave the job or the source of income. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Balami. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. I think God's will, you can now see the screen. Okay. So for many persons, please take this as a very critical point. When people leave the source of income, all right, when people see the source, when they leave their primary source of income, within a few period, their life goes in disarray. Now, look at this. Somebody has been working, and for whatsoever reason, he loses that job. And then within the first 1 month, 1 year, you see the person's life is completely disorganized. You know, somebody may say, but Oga, you are doing well now. What are you using your money for? Then the person now looks stupid, as if, it's true now. I was earning this. Now they say he who fails to plan has planned to fail. Now, the concept of emergency reserve fund, a lot of people have different formulas for it. But let me tell you, some people say 3 months income. But the ideal thing that you should do, anyone should do, is to have a minimum of 3 years of your monthly expenses. Oh my God. Let me break it down. When I'm talking about my emergency reserve fund, it's a fund that you need to build. Let's say in my family, in my house, we spend 100,000 naira every month. Let's say we spend 100,000 naira every month. In my emergency reserve fund, what should I have? Look at 100,000 times 12. That is how much? That's about 1.2 million, because that's 100,000 times 12. Of course, if we are spending 100,000 naira every month, that means we are probably earning more than that. Of course, you can't spend what you are not earning, except you are always borrowing. So let's look at it that if your monthly expenses is 100,000 naira monthly, then you want to look at the next 12 months, that is going to be 1.2 million. And how would you track that if you have not done that? I told you, using your bank account statement, to track the stuff. All right. Now, in a year, that means I'm talking about 1.2 million. In 3 years, that would be what? 1.2 million times 3. Ladies and gentlemen, the amount of money that you should have in your emergency reserve fund is what? 3.6 million naira. Your emergency reserve fund. Now, what is the idea? Let me just don't, before you start thinking, is it possible? It's what, if you say it's impossible, it's impossible. But if you say it's possible, you begin to work towards it. Now, why do you need 3.6 million naira? The idea is this: if anything has to stop the primary source of income, you can continue to use and maintain your lifestyle. You remember, if maybe you're working, if your monthly expenses was about let's say 100,000 naira a month. Now, when the source of income is no longer there, of course you are going to reduce what you are spending on. Maybe at that time you are no longer going to the office, so there's no transportation to the office. So of course the expenses will come down. Now, because you have 3 years of your monthly expenses in your reserve fund, note this: because you have 3 years of your monthly expenses in your reserve fund, you can continue to live at least an average lifestyle while you try to figure out what is happening. You try to figure out, is it getting another job? Is it adding another skill? Is it whatsoever you want to do to get your income back? And if it is not loss of job, maybe is a sickness or something, the person is bedridden, he can still confidently say, okay, I can be up for my expenses. Excuse me. I can be making up for my expenses even up to this period of time. Ladies and gentlemen, please, this is one aspect that you need to pay attention to. One of the things that the cooperative is helping many of us to do is to have this emergency reserve fund. When you begin to put it, because let me tell you, you can't keep emergency reserve fund you can't keep it in the savings account where you have ATM card. If you put money in an account where you have ATM card, you say, I'm disciplined, something is going to come up that will make you, the ATM card is in your pocket. You will spend the money sometime, someday. The other thing is, thank you. Now, the other thing is, if you have an emergency reserve fund that you easily have access to, it's as good as you not having anything. But where you have just take for instance in the cooperative now, for many persons that have money in the cooperative, we tell you that if you want to take the money, if you want to close your account, you are going to forfeit about 20%. Who wants to save money and forfeit 20%? Nobody wants to do that. Do you understand? But the cooperative is saying that if I want to loan money, some people say, why must I? Is it not my money? Why should I loan my own money? The idea is that so that you have a mentality to refund it, because you have money to loan now because you kept it there. If you take the money away, tomorrow you need money. Where are you going to get it? Remember, money that you have not saved will not save you. Money that you have not saved will not save you. So the concept of the cooperative is, if you want to leave the cooperative, you will forfeit about 20% of it. But we said you can get even times 2 of what you deposited as loan in the cooperative. This is just to remove the concept of, okay, just give me my money, I want to go. Go to where now? Leave the money there. When you need money, have the mentality that you are borrowing from what you have saved, and necessity is bound on you to pay it back so that you have it saved for your future. Ladies and gentlemen, the emergency reserve fund is very, very key. And if we don't want to spend our old age in penury, if you don't want to spend your old age struggling, you must pay extra attention to your emergency reserve fund. Build your emergency reserve fund to that point where it's 3 years value of your monthly income. I take it again. Build your emergency reserve fund to that point where it is what? 3 years value of your monthly expenses. 3 years value. So, in the cooperative, fine. The way you are earning, you are saving and things. If you are saving 5,000 naira monthly and things, ask yourself, when will this, in case there's an emergency, if maybe your income is like 200,000 in a month, and you say you are saving 5,000 naira. That's what you are saying is this: if your income in a year, 5,000 naira times 12, that's about 60,000 naira. Even the monthly expenses that you incur, is it not more than that? So are you helping yourself? You must plan. You must have plan. So what is going to help you in knowing what to save is, okay, what am I saving towards? What are my saving goals? And remember, we always say something, that saving does not make sense if I go to put it in the bank. Please do this. Saving does not make sense if I go to put it in the bank. Why will I go and put my money in the bank when it's losing value every day? Please listen to this. Why will I go and put my money in a bank? I'm saving 50,000 naira monthly, and I'm putting it in a bank. And you know that the bank, because the money, there's what we call the time value of money. Time value of money. The money, the 50,000 naira in January is no longer 50,000 naira now. It's no longer going to be 50,000 naira in December. Somebody will say, look at 10,000 naira is now behaving like 1,000 naira. I hope you've had that. Now, you now tell me, okay, but the cooperative is not savings also. Now, this is where the difference lies. Please pay attention. When you go to save in the bank, let's say you save 50,000 naira every month for 12 months. That is what? 600,000 naira that you have saved. Now, no matter how long you've been saving with the bank, anytime, of course, the bank will give you maybe 3% interest in a year or thereabout. Now, if you go to the bank and say, oh, there's an emergency, I need about 1.2 million naira. Okay, I have 600,000. As a matter of fact, my wife is saving with this bank. My mother is saving this bank. All my friends, I have introduced them to this bank to be saving. So, based on that, can you give me, I know I have 600,000 naira with you, but can you give me 700,000 naira? Because I need to meet a financial obligation. Will the bank give you that 700,000 naira? The bank will not do that. You can't collect more than you have saved with the bank. So here, this is where the cooperative is different. Now, with the cooperative, because you have planned your future, When you put in 600, you need a financial emergency, you can access times two. You can access times two of that amount in the cooperative, just like many persons. Every month, we have people that come and say, oh, they want to do a business, they need money. And because of what they've done in the cooperative, they have access times two. Somebody that has put in 1 million is able to collect times two. That's 2 million. He collects 2 million naira. Can the bank give him 2 million naira without collecting interest? Collect interest-free loan. That is what the cooperative. So you can see the difference between the two. In with the cooperative, with your savings, you can access more. And that's why we say the cooperative will not pay you. You will not be benefiting from the cooperative if you are not an entrepreneur. You won't be benefiting from the cooperative if you are only saving and you are not thinking of doing business where you can borrow more money from the cooperative. So the cooperative encourages, we want so much when people come to take loan from the cooperative. That is when you enjoy the full benefit of this cooperative. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything you're going to be taking up from this, begin to think, how do I plan my emergency reserve fund to be 3 years my monthly income? So now the last thing that I want to talk to you about is waiting too long to invest. A lot of us, one of the things that affect our finances is that we wait too long. You lead to paralysis. You want to do an investment. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. When you talk about and the money is working for me, that is just one way of investing. Investment and you have active investment. Now, what is your active investment? Your active investment is you collected, okay, just like you are in the cooperative, you've been saving money, you have close to 600,000 naira in the cooperative. Now, 600,000. But can you put this money into active use? Because you have your guarantors, you can collect 1.2 million naira from the cooperative. And then if it's buying and selling activities that you have learned, you can buy things. That is in getting your money to work for you. You can take that money and start it's very risky. One of the reasons why you are having that multiple stream. For those of you that are just joining, I told you, God Almighty said, okay, my income stream is very big. My income is big and things. Four rivers to feed the Garden of Eden. 4. Is God. Why didn't he just make one big river to? But he knows that time and chance, there are seasons for everything. There's a time that this river could run dry. And when this river runs dry, another river will keep on feeding the stuff. So you are looking at, he said, have 4 rivers flow into that garden. So the minimum levels of income that you should have is what? 4 streams of income. 4 streams of income. So one of the reasons why you are participating in the cooperative is to build the other sources of income. Maybe you have a 9-to-5 job. Okay, you got to develop a skill. Maybe you do something online. You are selling some things online. You are a content creator online or something. That's one other job, one business you can do. Or maybe you get yourself into buying and selling. You use your WhatsApp to buy and sell things. Fine, you are working in an office. You are being paid, but this money now, you're able to use it to go to the market. You go to area market, you go to nature market, you go to a eco market, go and buy bags, you buy shoes, you put them on your DP on Facebook. Even though you are working in the bank, you are still selling things. That is another stream of income. You have an online platform, that is another stream of income. So begin to think beyond just that one stream. So that is where we say, begin to invest. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not until I'm going to buy Bitcoin, I'm going to buy shares. No, that is not. There are, as I said, what you call passive investment, and you have what? Active investment. So take the opportunity of being in the cooperative to raise money for your active investment status. I hope you're able to get that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it those are the things that I wanted to show you, and these are the things that many of us, because we have not paid attention to this, I tell you, we put our financial future at a risk. I can tell you this for free. Listen to this. I can tell you this. For many of us, sorry, okay, what's this? Sorry, I wanted to stop. Okay. All right. For many of us, what you are currently doing is enough to feed you. Do you understand? Is enough to help your children go to good school, is enough to do this thing. But when you begin to think about tomorrow, when you begin to think when your summertime will end, the summertime will always end, guys. The summertime. He said, go to the ant, use sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise. Who gathers our food in the summer? The summertime will end. Say, I must walk when it is day, for the night comes when no man can walk. Every time I sit down, I think of it. When the night time comes, the night time is when you don't have ability to walk for one reason. It could be old age, it could be sickness, it could be nobody prays. That time will come. It will surely come because it is season. It's seasonal. Do you understand me? So, but when that time comes, what will be working for you? Are you going to be waiting and depending on handouts from your children? What are your plans for the winter time? Are you getting? So, if what you are doing now is good enough, why don't you add something to it? And use that one that you are adding to it to plan for the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we want to emphasize. If you are, maybe this is your very first time of coming on our call, maybe you've not been a part of this cooperative, I want to encourage you. Begin to open an account with the cooperative and begin to see, how do you save? How do you save? What is your financial plan? And one of the first, the thing I said the other time, one of the things that can help you in making financial plan is make a goal for yourself. My monthly expenses is 100,000. I spend 100,000 naira every month. That's what I spend. And how do I know I spend 100,000 naira? I've calculated my rent inside this 100,000. I've calculated my children's school fees inside this 100,000. Do you understand? I've calculated that. How do I calculate my rent into the 100,000? Well, my annual rent is what? My annual rent is 1 million or 10 million whatsoever, or let's say my annual rent is the 300,000. I will divide my annual rent. I will divide it by 12. That will give me my monthly income, even though I pay it annually. But is it not the money that you are working every month that accumulates to annual? Then the children's school fees. I don't pay my children's school fees monthly. I pay my children's school fees maybe every term. Oh, I have 5 children. The 5 of them, how much I pay for them. Now I will multiply everything and know, okay, in a year for my 5 children, this is the amount I'm paying for their school fees. So in a year, that means what I want to do, maybe the total amount is 500,000. I will now divide 500,000 by 12. That gives me part of the income of my expense for every month. So I now have my rent, I have the children's school fees on monthly basis. Okay, how much do we spend on food? The day you are buying bread, when you are coming from the office, you give your wife some amount of money to go to the market. You are able to sit down and calculate, how much do we spend on food? How much do I spend on transportation every month? Or how much do we spend on fuel? How do we fuel the generator? We fuel the cars and things. How much do we spend? You're able to put that together. So when you put all these things together, how much do you pay for NEPA? How much do you pay for water? And everything, when you put them together, you're able to know, okay, on monthly basis, this is our monthly expenses. Now, expense. Now, when you take that monthly expense, you now say, multiply it by 12. So that means 100,000 naira times 12. That gives me about 1.2 million naira. Now, if it's 1.2 million naira, I now have to calculate 1.2 million naira times 3. That's 3 years. That's times three. That gives me about 3.6 million. So my financial saving goal is to have 3.6 million naira in an account where I'm not going to easily take it off maybe when I need it, because it is called emergency reserve fund. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are able to gain one or two things from this lesson. If you got something, just put it there in the chat box. Type maybe great, or just type something. Let me know that you actually got some benefit from this. If you are able to apply this in your financial life, I can tell you, it's not that you become rich, but at least you will not be embarrassed financially. That is something I can guarantee you. It's not because your being rich is a function of your income. Now, even in today's world, when it's difficult for some persons in some other part of the world, it's easy for you to do 3-4 jobs. But there are some people in a part of the world, like in Nigeria, you can't really say you want to do 2, 3, 4 jobs. It's not practically impossible. So, but then the part that you need to do, if you are not making more money, make sure you are managing the one you have. If you are not doing what? If you are not making more money, make sure you are managing the one you have. Remember, our purpose is to do what? Make money, manage money, and multiply. Or let me say, make money, multiply money, and manage money. That is what will enhance your cash flow. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we are able to get some things in this. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the next few minutes, I don't know. I want to be very sure that you can hear me. Let me take one or two questions. If you're there, you can just type. If you have a question, you can type it in the chat box, or you want to unmute your mic and ask your question. Let's do that quickly, please. Okay, Israel said this is mind blowing. All right, thank you very much. Let's quickly. Are there questions? If you are having a question, just put it up question, and let me take it up immediately. You can unmute yourself. We are using the YouTube stream. That's why I'm looking here and there. We're not too used. We are very much used to the Zoom, but because of recording, people are always asking, do we have a recorded version? So I just thought of it that we can just be doing the Zoom. If we do the Zoom, it will help us to, save a lot of uploading of data and all this stuff. Okay. As I speak, I can't see any question and things. I can't see any question. Okay, guys, let's do this. If you've gained something. Okay, Ruth Farouk, how are you doing, my sister? Okay, can you just click the like button? Can you click the like button? Click the like button, and then you also click the subscribe button, so that subsequently when we coming up, you can always get the notification, and click the notification bell also on the YouTube, so that you'll be able to get this content anytime they come up. So click the like button, click the like button, click the notification bell, so that anytime we have this training, financial trainings like this, you'll be able to get the information. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you, Israel. God bless you also. Really appreciate you for staying. For every one of us that have been on the call, I want to say a big thank you. Let's keep on building the good work. Build your network. Remember, your network will determine your network. So please work on your network. Build. Let a lot of persons get involved in the cooperative, and let's rock and roll. If there are some things that we're trying to do in the cooperative, I know there are some that are giving us hitches there. just like the bank, the bank things. One of the reasons why we decided to do the bank thing is to help our members. There are some people that at the end of the month, that's when they pay. That's when they pay. Maybe they send their money to the treasurer. By the time they send to the treasurer, month is already closing and things. So we devised a means to do automatic payment into your account. And that's why we went into league with the Halo Microfinance Bank. But I think we are still trying to perfect the things that are going on there. We are still trying to perfect it. By the time we perfect it, because I see some people pay money, they say it's not being taken and things. Just please, there are some things that are good ideas in your head, but it now takes you having good technology. Do you understand? Good technology to be able to back it up. What do we call it? The NHRA. After going through all this stuff, the IT guys, okay, let's be able to upload. They start telling us one thing, this and this and things. Those things can be, don't let me say frustrating, but they can be challenging. But at the same time, I think we are going to get over most of those challenges. But please always check your account. Check your cooperative account. Make sure that your account is up to date. Go to the part where you have your contribution. Make sure that every month you can be sure that all your entries, all your cooperative payments were actually entered. All right. Okay. All right. Ruth says she's doing good. Thank you for the great information. God bless you and enrich you. Thank you very much. Wonderful session. Gabriel said is Mr. Bukola for this wonderful session. I really appreciate you guys. God bless you. I wish above all things that you will continue to prosper even as your soul prospers. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a Oh, Mr. Demola Larinde, nice one. Thank you. God bless you. Enjoy the week. Have a great week. God bless you. Bye-bye.